Hi guys, this is DP0427. This is just a quick apology for all of you guys waiting on this podcast episode of the Gorilla KHODcast for the month of October. In fact, the KHODcast was live about a week before this one is airing on October 27th on Discord. So things have just been busy. Life's been busy. Started a new job, had to go through training, and my wife is moving back to Japan for a month and then coming back in December. So life is pretty hectic. So sorry about the delay, but try not to let it happen again. And as for other things coming up with WRL broadcast, I should have a little bit more time on my hands. Like I said, the wife's out of town for a month. So hopefully I should be able to take care of a lot of that stuff this month. Sorry again for the delay, and hope you enjoy this episode of the KHODcast. Hey guys, we're here to bring you another episode of the Gorilla KHODcast, where we wrap up the events for October. And today on the show, we have Hey, Kage, and Loot, who's currently driving, but will join us a little bit later. And also special guest, 2D-tron. So say hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Hey guys.
Kage's there? Okay. Kage may be passing in and out of consciousness. Just so you guys know. So it is kind of early today. It's about 9:30 in the morning here on the East Coast. So,
yeah, we were talking about we're probably going to try to do a later podcast going forward now that DP's on the East Coast.
Yeah, but no promises just because of things happening.
Yeah, we're gonna next month we're gonna see about maybe doing a better time so that more people can join easier.
Yeah, next month the wife will be out of town for a while, so
that
I'll have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anyways, so just a quick rundown of the schedule today. What we have on the up for you guys, we have thoughts on the recent updates. We have our thoughts on the October characters, and then we have thoughts on the Eclipse Siege, expectations for the upcoming raid this month, and 2D-tron topic as we have every month, also with 2D-tron on the show, and thoughts on the November characters coming up, what we're predicting for that, and some small announcements for the show going forward. Basically just me trying to update you guys on what I've not been doing and said I have been doing. And then we're going to have a couple minutes at the end of the show for a Q&A for anyone who's here live on Discord. So, and before that, we'll have a quick mention. So, some unfortunate news that we got earlier a couple weeks ago, I think, earlier this month. We heard about the passing of a friend of ours in the DCL community. I think his name was Pio Bear Reach HD. And Pio in real life was known as Steven. And he was part of our humble DCL community. And unfortunately, he has left us. But our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife, Carrie, and his daughter, Gretchen. So, do any of you guys know him?
I didn't know him personally. I know Silver Fox.
Mm-hmm.
He was in his alliance, which I think,
okay.
And I just blanked out their name, so I completely apologize.
They went for top alliance this week to honor him, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was last week.
What was the alliance? What was the alliance name?
I can't remember.
Something United. Okay. I know it's
United as one.
United as one. That's it. United as one.
That's a very appropriate name too.
Yeah. I was gonna say they're usually in the top 10, 20. Yeah, they got it.
Oh,
that's great. Good for him.
That's great.
Good for them.
Great to hear.
Lou, your connection is awful.
Yes, I know. It's going to be better in like 5 minutes.
As soon as he gets home, he's driving right now. Just a reminder. So yeah, don't drive and call unless you're on Bluetooth or something.
Lou is the ultimate multitasker.
So okay. Anyways, so first of all, let's go over the recent updates. There was a couple of things. There was a 7-day login streak added to the monthly thing that we get for login bonuses. There was also this new thing for referring a friend, and you get bonuses. You both get, I think, 1,000 gems when you refer people through your special code. And there was a patch to Spectre. Now Spectre does all special damage. I think it was they basically just patched his first move. That's it, right?
They made his
Because it's all-
basic special, and then
Yeah.
they made it so his heal immunity procs
Oh,
before
that's right.
everything else.
I remember. Yeah, I think that's just like a fix to because that type of ability, every time they throw it out the first time, it seems to have the same bug all the time, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so it's been fixed now. So those were the small changes that they made recently, and I think I'm missing some small stuff. I mean, those are the big ones that are notable. What do you guys think on those changes? Hey,
I'm still keeping Spectre slow gear, so I really haven't played with him. He definitely seems
Mhm.
significantly improved
Mhm.
now that his basic can do pretty good damage. I
Mhm.
still don't see him as like an upper echelon character just because he's kind of like a weaker Etrigan or characters that get a kill and then ramp up. He starts off a little weaker. He has heal immunity as a few other things that make him better. He's got a stun. I don't really see him as an impact player, and I really needed another character to slow my legendary missions. So like this month, I was able to gear the paywall right away, which was nice, especially helped in Siege. So
Okay. Alrighty. So, Kage, what do you think about the changes?
I think it makes him a more viable character.
Mhm.
And certainly people were on the fence of taking his legendary on the basic because people didn't see themselves using it. But his other moves on high cooldown, so you really had no choice but to use that basic anyway. So it was a good quality of life change. But yeah,
Mhm.
like Hayes said, he's not going to be. You don't expect to see him a lot.
well, one
Okay.
thing M4 mentioned in chat, and I haven't been able to test this myself, but M4 says he's a very good Hal Jordan killer because he does punch under the shield.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good then.
So maybe he will see more play because Hal Jordan is everywhere. So
It's
Okay.
true. We tested it. It works really well.
Okay, great. Tootie, what do you think about the changes?
Well, the streak is nothing but positivity. They're just giving us free stuff, which is incredible.
Mhm.
I think that'll help with the retention of players.
Mhm.
The refer a friend kind of got a little abused a little bit. I was in the Facebook group, and they recently banned just sharing your code on the Facebook group because it turned into like a spam fest. It was pretty bad. And as far as Spectre goes, yesterday I fought my way to like the upper echelon of the Medfill PvP,
Mhm.
where he's a bonus tune, and he actually did really well because I was using Eclipse, and the AI was smart enough to open with his 2, and
wow.
it almost always stunned my Eclipse. And then by the time his 3, like he got another turn and he would use his 3, he was kind of pumped up a little bit, and his 3 is a big boom. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, so you're
as
just
for the
mentioning up.
this
Mhm.
the login bonus, that
Mhm.
is a great addition, and I don't know if we're allowed to say something about this, but they kind of teased to us that there's some other types of streaks that we may see.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I mean, I would say that if you think about just what it is right now, like logging in for 7 days, you get 1,000 gems at the end of the 7 days. So at least 4 times a month, you're getting 1,000 gems, 4,000 extra
that's
gems a
assuming it
month.
stays the same every
Yeah,
week.
right.
I'm curious to see what it turns into tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, still, like if let's say if it does stay the same, let's try and be optimistic about it. That's a lot. That's a
Or maybe
huge
better.
amount of
Who
gems.
knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be better. Yeah. Let's say they double it up for the second week, triple it up for the third week. That'd be insane. I don't know.
Or
Oh,
give me rebirth
whoa!
tokens. That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, but you know,
You guys get
if
too optimistic here.
I mean, at the very worst, they're not going to make it worse than it is, right? So
I
If
I
you
would
get
seriously
10
doubt that.
streaks in a row, it's 10 RB tokens. Woohoo! Just
If
kidding.
you get 10 streaks in a row, you get 10 void spinners. Yes.
yeah, that's where
I
the real
just
money's at.
I just opened it myself though, and today was my 7th day of the streak, and it
Yeah.
hasn't updated to show me
That's what I mean.
anything
So
new
we're
yet.
gonna see tomorrow something.
Yeah.
No. I just talked
Yeah.
to Reeves, and the 14-day streak is actually 500 gold, and then the 21-day streak is 250 gold.
Whatever, Craig.
Disappointing.
I like how in chat M4 has quoted, "You can't make it worse." I said it. That's what I said, right? So we'll see what happens.
Do remember Siege?
Anyway.
The payouts significantly. There's been numerous occasions where that's happened. So I guess
Okay.
we don't want to speak too soon.
All right. Let's let's move on then from there. So far pretty positive. Everything about the change to Spectre seems good. So let's just move on to the characters for this month then. So for this month, Spectre we already talked about a little bit. Anything else you guys want to add about Spectre? Anyone?
Nah.
I think his passives are kind of garbage, but that's only because of the 60% of things, and the AI still gains intelligence like crazy, but it doesn't seem to do anything for me.
So not a hate friendly character.
No, that's why I decided not to gear him.
Alrighty. So he's like a toned down Etrigan or something like that, you could say.
Yeah, it's kind of my feeling on him.
Yeah.
All right.
I think though that with the changes, so I'm not in the car anymore, by the way.
Okay.
With the changes, I think it takes him from trash tier, because he was unusable, maybe to even something like a C. But it's significantly better than it was. He's just still not good.
Yeah, I mean, he may have a niche punching under shields and with the heal immunity, but I'm not sure.
I think the 2 is underrated, to be fair. Like the no damage dealing purge with the potential stun and turn meter down there's a lot in that ability.
I wish that stun was 100%. Then he would really be a good character.
Yeah.
Something like a Killer Frost stun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, he gives me that, because of the fact that he's kind of percentage based, he kind of gives me a feel, like he feels like Donna Troy a little bit, how she's not a guaranteed stun, but she does like have a pretty high chance to stun. But it's still a pretty good move overall because it's a non-damage move, it so it shouldn't miss. So you could use it against Batgirl teams, for example. So I like that.
He might have a place. I mean, he seems like he's decent.
Exactly. Let's move on to Eclipse. Eclipse. So we haven't finished his raid yet. Should be coming up soon in the next couple of days or tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like a day away.
Yeah. So anyone actually bought Eclipse and play with him? Anyone? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a max at L3.
Okay.
As do I.
All right. So let's go with the L3 guys. What do you think so far? 2D, what do you think?
I like him actually quite a bit. The double hits guaranteed. He doesn't do like insane amount of damage unless there's like stacks of hit chance downs. But he dodges quite often despite only having 5 evasion ups and not being able to gain anymore. But he's fast enough that he can taunt again relatively quickly. Overall, I think he's a great character. Obviously, there's plenty of anti-evasion out there right now. Like if you brought Deadshot Higher Gun to fight him, you can probably one-shot him. But I did experiment a little bit with Aquaman Lead, and that crit immunity does save him from a Deadshot Higher Gun one-shot. So
good. Okay, that sounds good.
You don't have to pair him with Donna Troy all the time.
Awesome. What do you think, Kate?
I like him more than I thought I would. He's basically a blue Harley Quinn MJ, but he's different enough that I feel like they're super similar, but they're different enough. His enrage is is a much higher percentage chance to happen, so you can kind of build around that a little bit. And then he also has that extra evasion that you can use with his 3 makes a big difference because my Harley Quinn MJ has never dodged anything in her entire life, but he actually dodges sometimes. So,
all right, sounds good. I have him
pretty good.
I have him right now. I bought only 1 pack, so I have like rank 4. But as soon as this is over, I'll probably get him up to like L4. But hopefully he's as good as you guys think. What? Okage, have you bought him at all? Have you played with him at all?
No, I did not buy him. His kit doesn't seem too interesting to me, or it's not that exciting. But
all right.
I'm open to changing my mind.
All right, Luke, what do you think about Spectre? Sorry, not Spectre, Eclipso.
I have him at L3. So initially, I was thinking, he's so similar to Harley Quinn, but to be totally honest with you, I think he's way worse.
Oh yeah.
Damn it! Just dropped my phone. 1 second. Sorry, dropped my phone.
It's okay.
I think he's way worse.
Worse?
My RNG is pretty much on point with Hate's, but for whatever reason, my Eclipse doesn't dodge ever. Like, I could run him with Batgirl to even get more evasion stacks, and no matter what, he gets hit. And this is on like people that are hitting him with can miss. So he's taunting, so he's saying hit me. He's got all these evasions. He gets hit and he dies. So for me,
See, I'm just the opposite. I think he's better than MJ for that reason. He hits weaker, but
but you're getting the dodges and I'm not.
So what's
see,
going
my
on
Harley
here?
never dodges. I
This
don't
is
know.
wait, what's happening here? This is a world where Hate's RNG is pulling through and Lutz is not. Is that what's going on?
I can't get the guy to dodge ever.
All right.
You got to be careful with that Batgirl lead. I tried SSDS lead as well, and that's like it puts him over the threshold for where Wonder Girl starts whipping, and she always takes his taunt every time.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another question for Lut. This has your dislike for him versus MJ has nothing to do with the fact that your favorite character is Harley Quinn, right?
Wait, say that again? You broke up.
I'm saying the fact that you like MJ more than Eclipso. Is it because your favorite character is Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. It's totally just based on gameplay.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, MJ is my favorite character. The sluttier, the better. Get those boobs hanging out. Sorry, I didn't mean to go PG-13 there.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the reworks then. So we had Cubes and Silver Banshee. So let's start with Kage then. Kage, what do you think about the reworks?
Cyborg Superman plays the exact same playstyle, but the special damage helps him to find a new niche, because before he was just a heavy hitting green that had a hard time dying. Now he's just a heavy hitting green that has a hard time dying that can one shot problem reds like Man Bat or Bane. So that's great, but I mean he's more or less the same. I find him really annoying to use versus Harley Quinn because Harley gets those int downs, and so it really just kind of hurts your damage. Silver Banshee, she's a lot more fun to play now. She's a lot more consistent, but I also don't see her being a meta player at all. She's fun. I wouldn't put her past a B just because of the way her kit is designed, but she's a great character. I just don't see too much play for her.
Sounds good. Alrighty. So, hey, what do you think about the reworks?
Silver Banshee's a pretty decent improvement. I mean, she definitely went from not a great character to pretty darn good. And I think there's a lot of interesting teams you can make with her around bleed comps or purging comps or heal immunity comps. She's still really good against Power Girl. I would say even better than she was before. So I use her on almost every team in Siege, and she's really useful against teams that have stun, because you can rely on Hal Jordan to stun and then give all your team crit immunity. So that I find that to be a big deal. What I do, the character of the month is definitely Cyborg Superman. I mean, he's just unbelievable now. He's so good. I even put him on teams. When I'm playing Siege now, I put him on every team, even against full blue teams. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he's awesome. And I might take him to Rebirth 5.
Fair enough.
If I can.
Judy, what do you think about the reworks?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear my name. So I don't have Cyborg Superman like fully geared. But I have fought him multiple times, and I tell you what, he is threatening. You gotta take him out early, otherwise he's gonna take out you. I do think, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I think that Blue Beetle is pretty viable right now. And because Hal Jordan's everywhere, and Cyborg Superman is definitely gonna be everywhere if he isn't already. And whatchamacallit, I think his kit's just kind of boring to me. It's just like survive a lot until you can destroy everyone, and that's fun to some people, but to me it's just there's no special factor that wows me. But with Silver Banshee, that factor exists, I like her a lot now. She's got the damage that actually like hurts you. Her basic actually dishes the damage out. I don't even have the legendary for it yet. And it hits pretty hard. The AoE procs so much more often, which is useful, but the only problem is she needs a team to support her because of the fact that whatchamacallit, her gates kind of require other teammates. Otherwise, she's not going to proc very often. And Red Hood is like her primary synergy, but I feel like he's the only one in all of the 100 characters that can proc her consistently. So without him, it's just like she works with other people, but it's nowhere near as good. And I don't know. I don't think that she has this cohesive enough kit to make it past the month.
I do agree with the fact that when you talk about Silver Banshee, Red Hood is obviously the best because he does both things that she needs. Like he does bleeding and purging on the same move. So, but the thing about Silver Banshee, you can build around her in a couple of ways. You could build her into a bleed team, even to a smaller extent, a disease team even. But you can also put her into a purging team to get the AoE off more. And if you can, like a purging and bleeding team, but probably is only going to be Red Hood who's doing that, right? So, but I do agree that she kind of feels like wedged into a couple of different spots, but she does do a reasonable job when she gets off, her AoEs enough. So I find that she works reasonably well in a bleed team, and most of your bleeders will have some kind of purge on, like a couple of the other characters will have purge. So she does have a purge too, right? So not every character has to have a purge.
Quick note, I think her second ability, the one that purges off immunities, the passive that says that it procs her AoE, whichever one that is, it says that only allies can proc it, but that is incorrect. She can proc it on her own.
Yep, that's right. So I think I don't like the terminology in this game when they say allies. Sometimes it means like just your teammates, but allies can also mean yourself, like that character. So it's weird. Anyways, okay, cool. Loot, did you have any thoughts on the reworks before we move on? Loot there? Loot?
Yep, Loot's unmuting.
Right,
hold on, mute button.
Cool.
Honestly, there's nothing. My thoughts exactly what Hate Mouse said.
All right.
So identical.
All right. All right. Let's get a move on then. So and my thoughts on Cubes were pretty extensive on the podcast that we had a while ago. So you guys can listen to that one again. But yeah, I love Cubes. He's awesome. Good man. Got better. Okay. So we have the Eclipse Siege wrapping up in a day or two. What do you guys think of the siege so far, and what do you expect? Let's go with Hate.
Well, I would say this is a great siege,
Mhm.
especially since I'm number 1 right now, and I'm feeling pretty good since I'm a couple 100 points ahead. So I would say this makes this the best siege. But I mean, in all honesty, it's pretty fun. I'm kind of sick of Constantine being in there. Yeah. But that's other than that, Booster Gold really makes Constantine's rebirthing Booster Gold was like one of the best decisions ever, because for this Constantine sieges, he just takes care of the problem. He takes care of all problem blues, which is fantastic. So that makes it okay. They didn't do a siege sale, so an extra siege sale, so that was fantastic. And siege is always a blast whenever you're have a chance to compete for the top. I do look forward to not having Constantine, just because 2 months in a row is a bit much. But other than that, it's been pretty fun. I like the other bonus tunes. Everybody else made it very interesting. So,
yeah. All right, Kage, how has the siege been for you?
It's good. I like the, I really like the Constantine sieges because it's right up my alley. It fits my play style a lot because I like debuffing, I like allied deaths, I like a lot of those things. But it is annoying to have your characters needing to die, but oh well. I like it. It's fun. It's a challenge. That's all I gotta say.
Cool. Lutz, how's the siege been for you then?
It was okay. I mean, I really didn't play very much, so I don't know. I kind of took the month off a little bit from
Okay,
Siege. I was
fair
just
enough.
really, really angry about last month's Siege when they sold the Siege energy. So I just consciously said, you know what, I need a little time off, clear my head.
So it's good that they did listen to us and then they stopped that. So maybe it's time to get back into it, right?
Yeah, next month I'm gonna go back in.
Fair enough. All right, 2D, how are you liking it?
You know, I had a great Siege up until a few days ago when I apparently my mind just decided to take a dump on everything and start losing like every fight I had. And I normally end up in the range where you get like 520 fragments. That's generally my go-to, but I'm like right on the edge right now. I'm at like 540 or something crazy.
Yeah.
And it's been a difficult one. They need to stop using Constantine. I know that it's already been said, but the guy is just a dominating leader, and he like it makes you
have Booster
fight a
Gold?
specific way.
Nerf Constantine.
Yeah,
Nah,
and just
yeah.
like Hate said, like Booster is his version of happiness, but I use Superboy, and but Superboy doesn't do the damage. He just like keeps him out of invisibility a little bit. But I don't know. It's been stressful this last few days, but other than that, it's been a good Siege.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I understand. I'm right there behind you. I'm sort of like in the same area you are as in terms of ranking. The problem is for some reason, like the thing I hate about Siege, doesn't matter what Siege it is, it's the people who don't really want to try to use the bonus tunes at all. So then you'll see like a lot of like Wraith meta teams, which is just really, really boring and unoriginal. And it's really hard to beat like Batgirl teams or certain teams if you're trying to like maximize your bonus point. So that's my biggest problem.
But that's what makes Siege fun, is trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to put those bonus tunes in.
Yeah. That's a problem for me.
I mean, like this Siege, like normally Constantine frustrates me, but this Siege, for whatever reason, I finally got my Constantine mojo down. And when I see Constantine teams, those are the easy ones because I have my strategy down for them.
Okay,
And I can
that's fair
usually
enough.
always use two. But Booster, like I'm saying, Booster Gold solves Constantine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I've only lost 2 matches this whole Siege. This has been my best Siege ever.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Fair enough. All right. Well, hopefully you maintain that lead. Are you like reasonably far in advance, or is it close?
Yeah, I'm like over 150 points ahead, so I think
You're
I'm good. I
You're
never
locked.
count out Sheriff Lobo though.
Fair
Never
enough.
care. He's
He's
the
on
king
your
of
tail.
Siege for a reason. Yeah, he's
All
number
right.
2, but he's a good ways down. So, but sometimes he saves up, revenges, or stores energy, and then comes out of nowhere. So I don't trust. I'm not letting my guard down. Put it that way.
All right, that's cool. Oh, sounds good so far. So hopefully, Haith can
I
take
finally
it.
get a Siege win.
Haith can
I need it for my
take it
street
home.
cred.
All right, there you go. All right, so then another one goes to the owls, I guess. Let's start that. So
one day, someone will come out and challenge. Oh, there's Lucas is always way up there. He may get it one day. There's a couple people that I see, but
okay. All right, let's move it on to the upcoming raid. What do you guys expect for this time around?
Talk about owl domination.
Well, okay. All right. We're starting out strong there. All right. So hey, why don't you take it from there then? What do you think about the upcoming raid? What do you expect?
I can't. What was this one? Did they make any announcements about this raid? I can't even remember.
They mentioned the characters. They mentioned like what characters are available.
Oh wait, this is the October one, right? The Scarecrow raid. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this. I like the theme. That's really awesome. I think it's gonna be more interesting because of the evasion. The evasion downs and stuff is gonna be. It's gonna make it challenging.
That could be awkward. It could make things really long.
I think it's gonna make. Well, I like the. I gotta say, raids. I still, they're still grind fest and stuff. But I was really impressed. Like the last one, like when I got to my solo goal and we looked like we were set for alliance missions, I didn't want to immediately quit and never play the game again like I did in previous raids. So it wasn't too bad. I actually semi enjoyed it. And since they're changing the fights and making it different and themes are different, they're doing about as good as you can in the current format, and they're not going to change the format. So I'm pretty happy with it, and the rewards, they definitely made it worthwhile. So
Cool.
overall, they've
Alrighty.
done a pretty good job.
Alrighty. Loot, how do you feel about this raid? Are you expecting anything good, new?
I'm not expecting anything new. I think it's going to be the same as it's been maybe like last month and the month before. I think they've got it in whatever iteration this is. Granted, the characters might be different that you're fighting and using, but I think the formula that they're using, they should just keep it, move on, and give us some other new content. I think it's fine the way it is. It is a total grind fest. But the Hulk is coming out again. I see the sun is going to be not setting, it's rising.
All right.
And I'm going to go try and break my record.
Fair enough.
Your record's pretty high, so that's a challenge.
Yeah, your records, it's ridiculous.
Let's wrap up the owl comments with Kage then. What do you think about what do you expect for the next raid?
I expect to spend another $25 in raid energy to be really bored.
Okay, well then. All right. With that positivity, we'll go on to Tootie. Tootie, what do you think?
Okay. Whatchamacallit? So the newsletter says something along the lines of facing nightmares, Scarecrow, and fear itself. So, by the way, I don't know anything, but it sounds a lot like Parallax is coming, and I wonder if they're going to surprise us with that, like they did with Necron, because they didn't hint about Necron before he came up. They just said it was a new threat. So I'm hoping that's the case. But even if Scarecrow is just the big bad of the raid section, it does open up a few avenues as far as like Brainiac and Doomsday, who rightfully should be raid bosses, but are just characters in the game. And then I'm not too thrilled about the selection on the multiplier characters, but that is neither here nor there. The solo one is, I feel like the 4 days is good for people who need to wait a certain day to play it, because the shorter the time frame, the less they can play. But at the same time, 4 days is so long, and for people like myself or others that like to grind the whole thing, like it drains you. So I may or may not delve into the solo side as much this time.
Alrighty. So for me, for the raids, I think I'm not expecting much anything either, like anything different from the last one. The theming is interesting, like as everyone's saying, the fear itself. And I like M4's comment on the chat. He said Hal Jordan in the yellow costume. That would be funny. That'd be cool too. I'm still waiting on those Black Lantern costumes.
Oh man, I hope one day that'd be amazing.
But in terms of the raid, like the grind fest itself, I think, like if you think of the perspective of a free-to-play player and free-to-play alliances, these are very, very welcome like events at the end of the month. They are grind fest, but hey, if you're gonna if you want free resources, this is the best way to get them. Just set your time aside, schedule things so that you can maximize the resources that you're getting. You don't actually have to put in money to buy energy. You could just wait till your energy refills, play as a free-to-play player, and you get a lot of stuff. But
well, one thing I want to comment on that: if you were a free-to-play player, use the gold you have to buy energy to farm, like chapter 1 node, the last node of chapter 1 or whatever. Get your green, get your willpower, but you will get so many XP meta agents, and those are the biggest bottleneck in the entire game.
Exactly.
And after the last raid, I had so much that I think I had 7 characters left to take to 80 that were like level 73, and now I actually intentionally stopped leveling them because I will run out of characters to level to 80.
There you go. So
I only have 2 left. So
right. So I mean, like as Hate was saying, you want to maximize the amount of energy that you're using since you're waiting for things to refill anyways. Go with the lowest level lowest energy consuming PvE nodes to maximize your outputs.
but
right?
pick the last
also,
one in chapter 1 so you can get willpower at the same time
Right,
because they're the
exactly.
same price.
And also remember, whatever the upgrade event is for the day, that also will spawn bosses. So if you're waiting to grind like a certain like type of material, let's say it's energy day or it's legendary essence day, just wait for that day and just grind all the way through it, and you'll spawn a lot of bosses through there too, without having to use PvE energy, right? So
Yeah.
that's something to consider as well. But okay, so hopefully, like as Luke was saying before, I think the pattern it is, the formula that they have set out for it's fine. It's not like the most entertaining and most interesting thing out there, but it's still reasonable. So, and it's good for people who need the resources. So why not just stick with it? Just don't mess with it too much more. I think they have it at a sweet spot already. So I think most of the community is happy with it. So.
One thing M4 wanted us to mention was there's been some discussion, and I tested it a lot during raids, that using the 1x multiplier or the 3x multiplier for farming the missions. Some people think that you spawn more using 1x. I tested it at length, and it didn't seem to make any difference. So I started using the x3 later, and it was just as good.
Did you get more than one boss on any of those x3s?
Yeah, occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just observation bias. I remember other people in my too, but I think it just like happens to fall that way, and you just feel that that's what it is.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get none, sometimes you'll get 3. You never know.
Well, we'll leave it up to like the big whale alliances to gather the statistics for us. So maybe we'll set that out for a task for you guys. So let's move on from there. Before we move on to the rest of the topics, because I see we do have a couple of people, or a reasonable amount of people now in the podcast audio channel. Just to remind you guys, at the end of this show, we'll have a live Q&A on Discord. So if you want, you can type out your questions. Anything goes, sort of ask me anything to either us or specifically to any person on the WRL broadcast team. If you want, you can actually ask your question live. If you're in the podcast audio channel and have a mic set up on your phone or on your computer, I can unmute you so that you can talk when your question's up. So if you want to talk, just type in the chat says, I'd like to ask this question, or I'd like to ask a question, and I'll unmute you when it's your turn. So that will be at the end of the show. So the next thing we'll go into will be 2D-tron's topic. So unlike previous 2D-tron topics where we go over certain characters of the month, 2D-tron's now doing that on his channel. So what he asked us to do today is to review his YouTube channel. So I've taken a look at it. So my thoughts are basically what he's said before, but it goes over various characters ranging from meta to non-meta, mainly non-meta, but I think some of the meta characters that you go over are like basically the new characters that come out each month, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of humor on the show. There's a bunch of jokes here and there, sometimes not always PG-13. So
no.
Quick disclaimer. Me personally, I like the intros that you put at the beginning of your videos. Did you make that yourself?
I had a friend of mine who is a design major in college create the symbol, and then I had an editing program that made the rest of it.
So it looks really good. Looks really well done.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
So
thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
that.
It looks good. Maybe we can get your friends to help us too sometimes. We do have a graphics guy on our side too, but the more the merrier, right?
Sure.
Let's see here. So otherwise, I think that Judy does give great insight and gives non-meta or non-whale perspective on characters. Although he does go into say that he does spend money on the game himself to buy the new characters and gear them out quickly. But he doesn't put himself into that sort of whale category.
Not a big whale.
One of the problems that people run into is when they join the Court of Owls, they know and we don't. It's not pushed. It just happens. You just happen to. You tend to move up in your spending a little bit.
What you're saying is
casualty of joining us.
You didn't expect to take out a second mortgage, but
it just happens. We don't tell you to, but you just.
I used to feel very bad about buying the $100 packs, and now it's like, I guess, am I this month or am I not? Because it's probably going to happen anyway.
Have any of you other guys checked out 2D-tron's thoughts on it?
Yeah, he's doing a great job, especially if you want to get the non-meta you want to see what the more obscure characters on teams, how they perform and how you can make them work, 2D does a really good job. And I've seen a lot of the feedback from other people. People definitely seem to enjoy it. So if you're looking for something to give you a good laugh and see something a little outside the norm, you definitely should check it out.
Definitely. So even though 2D is a supporter of the show, we would also like to support him too. So you guys can help support him on his Patreon at patreon.com/2dtron, TEWTYTRON. And if you search 2Dtron on YouTube, you can find his YouTube channel, and we'll post a link to his channel in the show notes and probably on the YouTube video as well, where you see this. So he's currently just over 100 subscribers. I think that lets you get a personal URL, right, for YouTube?
I believe so. I think I had one from the start, but I don't know.
Okay. Is it youtube.com/2dtron?
No. Shoot, let me look it up real quick.
You can go change that anyways. Now that you're over 100 subscribers, you should be able to.
Yeah, and then you can monetize too.
Monetize is after 1,000.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's right.
You need 1,000 subscribers. It took us a while to get there, but
Yeah.
you know. In any case, yeah, go help out 2Dtron. He's a big supporter of the show, and we'd like to support him too. And he's a big member of the community as well. If you guys haven't already seen him around, but he's everywhere. So
Appreciate
Get
that.
rid of this guy.
yeah, he keeps jumping on our show. What is this? Anyways, so anyway, moving on from there, let's talk about the silhouettes for November. We know about that. Any predictions, guys? Any guesses from the two red characters we see?
We should probably we'll let 2Dtron guess.
Well, so the community is thinking that it's Titans related because the double swords on the back, and the right silhouette looks like a woman, so everyone's thinking it's Ravager, which is Rose Wilson in the show right now. And that's probably a pretty good guess. I don't know. And the left one is, I think, anyone's guess, but I'm hoping for Superboy, the Titans version of Superboy, because my Superboy, Jonathan Kent, is one of my favorite characters in the game right now, and just giving him a partner sounds fun.
Yeah. So it would be your guess is Connor Kent then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that would be
would think he
weird,
would
wouldn't
be
it? Because
energy.
it's a red Connor Kent.
Yeah, I would think
That to
he'd
me
be
is
energy.
really weird.
He's half human, so I mean, and he also I think his main powers are super strength and invulnerability. He doesn't have the flying or the laser eyes, so it makes sense.
He is half human.
Yeah.
Yes. He's half
But so is John.
John.
True.
John is John is
His mother is
Lois's son.
Lois Lane, yeah, but he's got more of Superman's powers though. He's got a comic right now where he's kind of grown up and he can fly and all that stuff too.
Yeah, Connor.
But I could also I could see Jericho as that character as well.
My favorite guess on Reddit was sorry, my favorite guess on Reddit was Captain America and Deadpool.
They definitely look a lot like it. Yeah. But I hope it's Rose Wilson. I love Titan season 2 is amazing. I just love that show so much.
We're gonna talk about that in.
I'm only on episode 3, so no spoilers, please.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in future Watchtowers. Later today, depending on the timing, I'm gonna go the Joker movie with Joker CPOC. So probably I would say November is when we're gonna go over some of the DC Universe shows and maybe some of the the CW shows. Okay, so anyways, so far the guesses, most people have been guessing Ravager for the right, anyone's guess for the left, because the left just looks like a dude, right? So it could be anybody. So
I tell you what though, that is Ravager, and if she ends up being the paywall, I'll probably be going hard on Siege for that one.
You like Ravager? You're a fan of Ravager?
I love her in the comics.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
How do people know who Ravager is? I had to Google who Ravager was.
She was in the Titans comic book. She was in
Batman a bit. Yeah. Anyways, she's here and there. Alrighty. Okay. So before we go into the Q&A, just some quick announcements to just to tell you guys about what's coming up. I've been really swamped with moving back to Canada, and I've been working a little bit on the ringtones. I've gathered up some of the audio clips, so I should be able to work on the ringtones. They should be done for the patrons in the next couple of weeks. Like my wife's going back to Japan later next week, so as soon as I have more time on my hands, I'll get to that.
So
For the Teespring,
so there's been a lot of excuses. There was like
Yeah.
a 3.5 month long vacation. Then there was moving.
there was a
So,
job. There was a new job that didn't pan out well, and now I have another new job. So, anyways, excuses after excuses. But anyways, I'll try my
DP,
best this month.
When are you gonna start live streaming, man? I want to see your
That's it.
face.
That's what I'm going to get to. So, first of all, about the merchandising that we've been putting on the back burner for a while. We moved from one online store to a different online store because the first one wasn't working well. The one we're going with
they
now
kept
is-
telling us we were stealing copyrighted material and all kinds even though it wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately wasn't. So
Yeah. So, anyways, the next one we're going with is Teespring. It's mainly T-shirts, but we'll try and figure out that stuff. Right now, the graphics that we have to put on T-shirts don't look that great because of the way the backgrounding stuff works. So I'm going to work with my graphics guy, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to expect to at least get a couple versions of a T-shirt out there. If there's specific T-shirt colors or T-shirt types that you guys want, or even sweatshirt types, let me know in the comments or anywhere, like on Reddit or on Discord, and I'll try and figure that stuff out for you. Like if you prefer like
dry fit, if they can do dry fit in coffee mugs. I
Coffee
want to
mugs?
get.
I haven't seen.
I want to get
coffee
my
mugs
own.
yet.
Selfishly, I want to get like some of the cool. We got to
Yeah.
see. We need to talk to DC Legends about.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll let us, but I want to use DC Legends.
Yeah. And reminder for you high-level patrons out there, once we do get the shop up, you are depending on what tier you're at, you do get some free merchandise for being a patron at that level. So we're going to send that stuff out to you. So we're going to need mailing information and stuff for those of you who live in North America. If you don't live in North America, we'll figure out.
There's a lot
that
of
stuff for
problems
you.
with mailing we need to
Yeah.
talk about offline. I
Yeah.
had 2 people that won gift cards and we couldn't get
Oh,
them anything.
okay.
It was a disaster.
We'll try and work out the logistics through that. But
Okay.
don't worry. We'll get you your stuff. We will make good on our promises. We swear we're not, flaunty. We're not like flaky politicians. So
Yeah. we might need to get a PO box for the
right.
the
So
Real podcast.
right. So in terms of the streaming that Kage was alluding to, since November is going to be a month, like I'm literally going to have a month on my own at home. So that should be something that I could be able to work on this month, at least by mid to the end of November. We're trying to figure out which platform is better between Twitch and Mixer. I've been hearing mixed things. People saying Twitch is like on the down, like going down right now. Mixer's on the rise. But at
I
the
think
same
that's
time,
only because of Ninja and
yeah,
what he brings, the amount of
right.
gravity that he brings to it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Twitch.
The
is
other thing for us-
huge.
the other
Mixer's
thing-
getting bigger, but Twitch I
Yeah.
think is still like the main
Yeah, Twitch is the main one.
one.
The other thing for us to consider is that all of us, I think, except for Ogre, are iOS users, and we have to figure out the best way to stream from our phones to PC, for example, or stream directly to Twitch or Mixer. So if they're built-in apps, which ones are better? We might just have to go with the one that's like more user-friendly. But at the same time, like for example, if I'm planning to do like a face cam thing, so I might as well like be using OBS or whatever anyways on my computer. So at that point, it wouldn't really make a difference for me if I'm using Twitch or Mixer. But anyways, I know some of you guys would want to just use straight from your phones. So that's something to consider as well. Okay, so with those announcements out of the way, we're going to go to the Q&A section here. So for any of you guys in the chat, we're going to do sort of like an Ask Me Anything style of Q&A for a few minutes. Any of you guys can ask us any questions. You can ask us the whole group, or you can ask specific people. So if you want to ask the question live on air and you have a mic set up, let me know in the channel and I'll unmute you so you can talk for a few minutes. Otherwise, just type your question out in the chat and then we'll go through it that way. So right now,
And just type out if you want to
ask us a
have us
question.
unmute you.
So since we have 2D-tron on the show already and he's already unmuted, 2D, do you want to ask us any questions?
Come back to
goes.
me.
Come back to you.
Yeah,
All right.
I haven't really thought about it.
M4 has a question for 2D-tron. What kind of crazy rebirths Raz Al Ghul?
Oh well, this kind of crazy, but no, I'm sad that I did that, but at the same time I'm not because it makes me special.
Are you still the only person with that, or have you seen another one?
I saw a comment saying that someone wanted to, and they're working towards it, but I haven't seen one. No.
So you're not the only crazy, but the other
It's
crazies will
all
join.
talk.
The other crazies will join you soon.
Somebody saw my Ra's al Ghul video and was like, "Dang, that's a nice
I
character."
can't think of anybody I haven't seen Rebirth now.
Well, somebody in our alliance had a list, I thought, on Reddit. That it was a short list. It was like 10 to 15 names that no one's seen yet.
Yeah, but I've seen a few of the ones I hadn't seen before recently.
Like Beast Boy. You haven't seen a Rebirth Beast Boy, I bet.
We do have an episode coming out all about Rebirth, actually, in soon.
Okay, good. I'm glad you listened to that.
Right. Pinky the Brain and the Brainiac, if you want to ask us questions, type out your question in chat and we'll answer your question. While we're waiting for his question, I'll ask a question to you guys. So what do you guys think of the Joker movie before I get into it with Joker later today? Like, just very briefly. Any of you guys seen it?
I have.
Wait, who has? Tudi's seen it?
Yes.
I have.
Kage seen? Okay, so let's go with Kage. What do you think of the Joker movie? Just
And no spoilers.
Just a very brief review.
Fun. That's about what I gotta say. It's a fun movie. I don't see this Joker really fighting Batman, so it's not a traditional type of Joker that you're used to seeing. But it's a fun character study.
Cool. All right, Tudi, what did you think?
I have the unpopular opinion, and I did not enjoy it as much as others. I think the build-up was way too long, and it was slow. But I get why it was slow. I just think it took too long to get there.
Alrighty. So, Pinky and the Brainiac, if you have your question, just feel free to type it out there. And so, for me, when I watched the Joker movie, I personally thought of it as you were saying. I feel the slow build up. I could see that. The thing that got me like sort of into it was the way like Joaquin Phoenix's character really like showed the sort of like the psychotic aspects of the person before he became Joker, right? Of what's his name, Arthur Fletch, right? So that aspect sort of really like got me on the edge of my seat, just watching, want to see what's going to happen next. And you see like those little elements that make him Joker slowly appear through the show, but so through the movie, I mean. But then, like, I could see how 2D Tron was saying that build up itself is kind of slow, but I like that slow build up. So, I guess it's not for everyone. So, alrighty. So let's see. Do we have that question? Not yet. So, anyone else have any questions they want to ask?
Yeah.
Well, we're waiting.
If you want to ask live, or you can ask in chat, whichever one you prefer.
Right.
Hey, Dolphins or Bucks?
Oh,
I'm a Bucks fan, unfortunately, but Bucks at least are a respectable team, where the Dolphins aren't even a real team right now.
I was gonna ask a basketball question then. Raptors or anyone else?
It's funny because I've never liked basketball, and when I got into football when I was like a teenager, I picked the Bucks because they were a Florida team, and I wanted to pick three of them. But I picked them because I liked their logo the best, because I thought Jacksonville Jaguars is a stupid cat, and then Dolphins is just a dumb dolphin. So I picked the Bucks, Pirates. And then he was like, well, at the time they were looking good, and he's like, oh, you're just trying to bandwagon. So when I picked a basketball team, the Raptors were terrible, and I always liked Canada. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna pick Canada, and they have a cool Raptor logo. So I've been a Raptors.
But now the
fan.
Raptor, when I came back recently, and after the Raptors won the championship, I watched. I noticed that their logo had changed, and it's no longer the Raptor logo. It's like a basketball with a claw mark on it. So it's not as cool as it was before. But anyway,
I still like it, but I can't get into basketball. I get so bored watching it.
Yeah.
There's too many games. That's the word the NFL does it right. There's not that many games.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
all this hockey and basketball is just it takes forever. And yeah, baseball is the worst. M4, the worst.
Looks like we got a question from Pinky and the Brainiac. So Pinky and the Brainiac asks, what tier would you place CSM or Banshee? We probably mentioned that earlier, but he wants to. Actually, we didn't talk about the tier, did we? Did we have
No,
an
I mean we're
updated
gonna the tier episode will come out after Siege.
Okay, well we
So, but
can
we
give
can
a
kind of give you our
preview.
pre-show grade.
For me, I'll tell you right now, Cyborg Superman number 1, S tier, obviously. Banshee, probably a reasonable A to a B tier, but then she is made of paper, so I could see that, like maybe B or low B to be reasonable. But I mean, other than someone like other than me, someone who's not like a Cyborg Superman fanatic, what do you guys think about Cyborg Superman and Banshee in terms of tiers? Kage, what do you think?
I think Cyborg Superman is a borderline S. He's just not doing enough
really?
for the team. Not doing enough for the team to make him an S tier. He's not carrying players.
Like a
But
high
he's
A.
yeah, he's a very high A. Banshee, I think, is a B. I would try and fight for an A tier, but you know she's too composition heavy to really make her an A character.
Fair enough. All right. Hey, where would you put these guys?
I would say Banshee's a B, and I wouldn't even say a high B, just because, like Kage said, she's a squishy and she's composition heavy, but she's a solid B. Cyborg Superman, I'm really torn because I know when we do the tier episode, I can't decide between A and S because, like Kage said, he doesn't really do anything for your team, but he's so good on his own, and that's kind of what, when you think about an S tier, what is an S tier? An S tier can carry a team, and sometimes Cyborg Superman carries your team.
Yeah.
So
Alrighty.
he's
enough.
borderline. He's right there between.
I do-
And then,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm done.
I do want to preface that B isn't for bad. B is, I think, if I had my way, every character would be designed to be a B, because that way it would really increase the niche amount of characters in game, and you'd see greater variety in teams. So placing someone at B is not a bad thing at all, because Scarecrow and Batman Beyond are also Bs, and they're great characters, and there's a huge list of good characters in B.
All right. Cool. Loot, what do you think about the ranking of these
I would
characters?
say Cyborg Superman is an A, and Silver Banshee's a B.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So I guess that wraps up that question. Any other questions before we wrap things up, guys?
Not me.
No? All right. Looks like
baseball
we don't
stinks.
have too many questions. All right.
That's just fun them for.
Fair enough. I mean, if you guys want to talk sports, you can always ask questions too. But anyways, next time
Oh,
we're
and
gonna try.
if you're not playing FanDuel, let me give you guys a tip because I've won like $200 every single weekend now. Go on to FanDuel, play the 50-50 leagues if you know anything about whichever sport you're into, and then pick the leagues that have at least 100 people, and then bet on the $10 or below ones, and just enter a ton of contests because that's where all the noobs go, because the smart people play in the $25 or above leagues. So if you just bet into a bunch of them, you can almost always beat the top 50%.
Okay.
So
That's if you
I'm
know
slowly ramping.
a thing or two about that, right?
Yeah, you just gotta pick. I mean, I do it for NFL because I'm, I follow that closely. But there's basketball, there's baseball, there's whatever sport you're into. So I've found that it's a very good money making strategy, and I'm increasing it every week, and it keeps working. So
Cool. Alrighty. So in terms of timing for the future, we'll try and do like an evening show instead of a morning show to get more people on and ask more questions for the future. But again, for the next time, next month at the end of November, if you guys want to ask us questions live on air, just make sure that you're on the Discord server when we go on, and then you can either type it out to us, or just ask us live on air. So with that, we'll wrap things up there. As we do every month, I'm going to go over the wrap up. So let's see. Shout outs to LMR 107 at the Bruce Wayne level, 2D Tron and Charles L at which is Fries. I should just write in Fries, at the Lex Luthor level. And and each month they get a topic suggestion, like 2D Tron did for this episode. And also some special shout outs to our newest patrons, Sean Z and Elias P, at our Jimmy Olsen level. So a reminder to both of you guys, the new patrons, and also any other patrons who still haven't gotten their Discord roles, just get onto the Discord Redditverse server, private message me, DPO427, and I'll set you up with your roles if the bot hasn't already. Also, if you guys want to be heroes like these guys and help us keep the lights on, consider supporting us over at patreon.com/WROL broadcast. All right. So anything else, guys, before we're done?
Nope. I think that wraps it up.
Alrighty then. So have a good day, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, patrons.
Bye.
Thanks, Patreons. You guys. We exist because of you guys.
Hey everyone, it's Tootytron. Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcasts. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts. Oh god. Guys, I think he's glitching out. Oh, I think he's gonna blow. Oh.